And we got to go to a tragic scene where we're talking about the case of a 7-year-old who was placed in a home by Child Protective Services. And then the people she was placed with ended up torturing them to death.
Questions stay surrounding the shocking torture death of a Long Island child.
3 women were arrested this week, charged with sadistic abuse that led to the 7-year-old's death. Jordan Duncan had been placed in their home by a court. And today, Carolyn Gussoff asked Suffolk County lawmakers how that could have happened.
It's a picture-perfect suburban Cape, but prosecutors describe a house of horrors inside where they say 7-year-old Jordan Duncan was tied up in a bathtub and routinely tortured. 3 generations in one family were charged in her death Wednesday in what prosecutors called wicked and evil torture.
The cutest little thing that you want to see in your life. Never saw any marks on her face.
Neighbors are horrified to learn the details of her December death after Emily Kelly called 911. An autopsy documented 90 injuries, including whip marks and internal stab wounds that caused a fatal infection. Prosecutors say the child missed 40 days of school, and in each case, Kelly provided an excuse, a family trip, or a death or illness. Prosecutors say not only did Kelly subject this child to horrific abuse and torture, but appallingly, she documented it with videos and casual text messages between her and her daughter. You can't hit her face, you gotta hit her body if you're gonna hit her. That's another thing we've gotta hide.
Shocked about that.
I am truly disgusted. But my first thought is I gotta say, where was Child Protective Services? They placed her with this family. Well, where are the checks? Are they not required to get them regular checkups and they go into the doctor? What is the system that we are supporting? Oh my God, let's keep going into this and find out more information, y'all.
People could act so savagely.
Suffolk County Executive Ed Romaine says the county's Child Protective Services involvement in the case was minimal.
It's not a failure of CPS, and the child's placement was done by a judge. We will act on any information that comes out that suggests to us that improvements can be made.
The child was placed by court order with Kelly, her incarcerated father's fiance. Kelly's mother and daughter were also charged. Suffolk lawmakers are calling for a full review.
How was this child placed in the hands of somebody who could be this unfit and this abusive? How could school, not see her for 40 days over the course of a year and not ask questions?
Schools are expected to contact CPS when there's repeated unexplained absences combined with warning signs.
The personnel at the school are mandated reporters.
We have no comment at the moment.
Jordan's biological relatives declined comment. Small memorials flank the front steps, which neighbors say was part of a major house renovation since the child died. All 3 women have entered not guilty pleas. In Bayport, Long Island, Carolyn Gussoff, CBS News, New York.
They have text messages where the mother is talking to the daughter, telling her you cannot hit this child on the face. You cannot leave any evidence, but you go ahead and hit her. She missed so many days of school, but the teachers didn't mention anything. The Child Protective Services obviously didn't do any visits. The system failed this child. Let's keep going into this and see what else we can find out.
She was the prettiest thing, and like I said, she came on Halloween every year.
It's just heartbreaking.
Neighbors here on Oak Street in Bayport cannot believe what investigators say allegedly happened to this beautiful little girl behind the closed doors of this house. Prosecutors say these women, 3 generations from the same family, are now facing charges in connection with the torture and death of 7-year-old Jordan Duncan, who had been living with her father's fiance, Emily Kelly, on the left when she died last year. In court, prosecutors said the little girl had more than 90 wounds on her body. Suffolk DA Ray Tierney telling Newsday she was an extraordinary child. She certainly deserved better.
A lot of the evidence in this case comes from text messages that were sent, from videos that were found when prosecutors, investigators obtained a search warrant to look at the phones of the defendants.
It's sadistic. It's horrible. And I worked in a mental institution for 31 and a half years. And when I heard that, and I've heard a lot and seen a lot, but when I heard that,
Kelly was indicted on second-degree murder, unlawful imprisonment, reckless endangerment, and other charges. Her 75-year-old mother and 24-year-old daughter were also indicted.
The evidence will show that this was a tragic accident, the result of no depraved indifference or malicious intent whatsoever.
Prosecutors said Child Protective Services placed the girl with Kelly in 2024. When asked about the case and the CPS's involvement, a Suffolk County spokesman said no comment.
Now, a job is a job, but I don't see how defense attorneys can say that so calmly, looking us in our eyes. The history that the medical examiner showed up just of the abuse, the amount of injuries, the wounds, and you're saying none of that was given to them by the defendant? It's crazy sometimes, y'all. Let's get over into the AI breakdown just to find out a little bit more information to see what we missed or just gain a little bit more information. Let's jump over into it. So as we know, we got Emily, her mother Barbara, and her daughter Elise, 50, 75, and 24, have been arrested and indicted by a grand jury in New York in the connection with the horrific abuse and death of 7-year-old Jordan Nye Duncan. I'm sorry if I messed up that name. So in 2024 December, she was placed with Emily Kelly, the fiance of the child's incarcerated father. A family court judge granted Kelly full legal guardianship and custody of the child in April 2025. According to the district attorney's office and court proceedings, she endured months of prolonged systematic and sadistic torture. An autopsy conducted after her death revealed roughly 90 documented injuries across her body, including whip marks and internal injuries. Prosecutors allege that the child was regularly tied up, kept in the bathtub, struck in the face, and assaulted with sharp objects. Investigators recovered extensive pornographic videos, text message evidence on Emily Kelly's phone detailing ongoing restraint and physical trauma, text messages between the co-defendants openly discussing hiding the injuries. She missed approximately 40 days of school. Prosecutors stated that Kelly lied to the school officials, fabricating excuses about illnesses and fake trips to Walt Disney World to conceal the visible signs of physical abuse. Saying your child, we took our child to Walt Disney World, but you're in there beating them in the bathtub. You deserve the most horrible death in this world. We got to call it how it is. On December 29th, Kelly called 911, reported that the child was in cardiac arrest. First responders found her unconscious. She was later pronounced dead at the local hospital. Medical examiners determined the cause of death was massive untreated infections resulting from a punctured colon caused by sharp force injuries. Oh my God. All 3 generations of women from the Badport home were indicted and have entered pleas of not guilty. So we got Emily, who was charged with second-degree murder, unlawful imprisonment, and reckless endangerment. She faces 25 years to life if convicted. The 75-year-old charged with second-degree manslaughter, endangering the welfare of a child. Authorities allege that she could be heard singing in the background of the videos showing her struggling. Her defense attorney stated she suffers from dementia. It was not the child's primary caregiver. And then we got the 24-year-old charged with first-degree unlawful imprisonment and endangering the welfare of a child. Her attorney maintains that she had no involvement in the child's death and that her imprisonment charges stem strictly from the specific 3-day window in July 2025. The co-defendants are scheduled to return to court June 23rd, 2026. There are too many sick individuals in this world. That is crazy. The world is a truly crazy place. But we have to look after the children. Absolutely wow. I did question that too in the chat. Let's pull this up. So basically, why was the child placed with the incarcerated man's fiance, incarcerated woman's fiance, and was there no one else on their side of the family? I question that too. What was the point? Why was she placed with them? And I don't know if they didn't do enough background checks, but it's no other family could take her. And they had no love for this child at all. Wow. Now, we will keep up with this, of course, to see exactly what they get charged with, or hopefully they don't be able to escape the system, because the people like this deserve to be punished within the fullest and the heaviest extents of the law. And I've said this several times. It sounds like, because it said she was punctured in the colon. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that sounds like sexual assault to me. But I might be wrong, I might be mistaken, but they deserve to spend the rest of their lives in jail. And if the people in the household sat back and watched this happen, they deserve just as much punishment as the other people who actually did it. Now, this is a tragic situation, but let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything else I said. This is a sick one, y'all.